All right, good morning. Texas week, really exciting. Our guys are really looking forward to the challenge this week. Coaches and staff players recognize the challenge and opportunity both, but to be able to go to Dallas and compete against again, preseason #1 team in the country that's lost 2 really tough games. It comes down to a couple of conversions that has kept them from being undefeated. Had opportunities to win both games right down to the last play of each one. So expect a really talented, explosive, dominant defense, an offense that, again, has all the weapons, both up front, in the backfield, outside, at tight end, quarterback, really excellent football team. Coach Sark and his staff have done a fantastic job. They've been the model of consistency the last several years since he's taken over and kind of got the roots of the program in place. They have great balance on offense, averaging 250 yards a game throwing and just under 200 yards rushing a game. And again, I can go on and on about their defense, their personnel, their staff, certainly the results. Went to Ohio State, held them to a couple of 100 yards, and they've been dominant from beginning to the end all year. And they got, again, great experience back, guys that are highly invested in their program, and going to be a great challenge for us, and but something I know our guys are excited about.
Yeah, Brent, you just said something about Sark, something about growing the roots of his program or establishing. It feels like you've done the same here, particularly in the last year, getting the defense where nobody thought it could get back to, and you've done that. How do you just feel about the job you've done overall and where the program is going into your 4th OU Texas game?
Again, I'm never comfortable, never have been. I love our team. Again, 23, we won 10 games and thought we had good momentum, and then turned the ball over 6 times in our bowl game and lost a tough game there. And then, again, we're ravaged by injuries last year. It's hard to judge what kind of a team that we could have been last year. Lost, momentum, if you will, but proud of the fight that our guys had a year ago, and certainly the defense continued to make more and more progress, but offensively weren't able to, to get that side of the ball going because of the issues that we had there. So it's hard to say, I don't know. Really, that's for everybody else to write. I like this team. I like where we're at right now. We've got an excellent staff and tremendous leadership in our locker room, guys that, again, have I've been bragging on for a while, both sides of the ball, upwards of 16 players that have been, this is year 4 for them, and I think we're a benefactor of that leadership and the experience and the improvements that we've made, the development that we've shown here in the program has been good here this year. So, where all that stands is for everybody else, but I feel really good about where we're at right now.
Experienced this rivalry obviously in the 2000s when you were here, and now again. I'm wondering if you sensed any change just with how the rivalry is from that earlier era to now, and is it still driving up to the Cotton Bowl something that you relish every year?
Yeah, it's I don't think there's a better rivalry in all of college football, and that's certainly debatable, but the pageantry that goes along with this, and then the passion, the intensity, the ESPN game day will be there again. I don't know how many times it has been, but I bet it's been a lot. And the history between the two programs, it's special, and it doesn't ever get old. It doesn't.
Okay.
No, not any bit whatsoever. I remember my first game, and I talked about it on my radio show last night. I think we got up 17-0, and then we ended up losing the game. And then I think we went on maybe a 4 or 5 game win streak there, and there's just been some streaks, throughout the history. We've been on the right side of it for the last 25 years, more often than not. But a lot of pride in both programs, and a lot of, again, hate in the heart everybody has fan base wise for each other. But got great respect, for their program, and again the rich history and tradition of this game and what it means for the season for everybody.
Yeah, Brent, has John Mateer ramped up at all this week, and has he been able to throw the ball at all?
He's doing his normal protocol. He's done zero good-on-good work.
What is it about this injury that
I don't know. I'm just going to cut you off. I don't know anything about the injury. So I'm just, when they tell me he's available, I'll let y'all know.
I'm sorry, Colton. Brett, you talked last week just about balancing him wanting to play versus keeping him healthy the rest of the season, and preserving that. Just how's that balance? How are you going about that?
I'm just lean on the doctors. I'm not an expert in any of it. So I literally, that's the extent of it.
When you have this situation with the quarterback this week, I know last week you knew it was going to be Michael. This week it seems like maybe it's up in the air. How do you go about it?
John is doing no good-on-good work, so it's Michael and Witt right now.
Okay.
So if something changes, I'll let you know.
How have you seen, I guess,
But I think if you're going to play, you got to do good-on-good, right?
Right.
Throw some skelly, hand the ball off, play on third downs. So
going off that, how have you seen Michael, I guess, since the game on Saturday continue?
like yesterday, how have I seen him? He came in and had good awareness, self-awareness, corrected mistakes, showed leadership, part of our leadership council, and he's able to articulate. We always kind of pull the curtains back on the bad stuff to make sure that we got great focus on how we're going to improve and get better and not make the same mistakes, moving forward. So he led the way from an accountability standpoint. And again, he played in a really efficient way and did a great job taking care of the football, getting our offense into the end zone when we got to the red zone, 100% conversion rate down there, scoring touchdowns. And just made a lot of really good decisions, in the game. And like you would expect, there's some plays that he'd rather get back, like to get back. And but there's also more, things that are involved, from, again, the things that I talked about, route detail, protection, play calls, things of that nature. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, Brent, you talked a little bit about it on Saturday, but outside of the Michigan game, special teams seems like it's really taken a lot of steps forward in a bunch of areas. When you go into a game like this and the rest of SEC play, how much does just the play of special teams as a whole give you confidence going into games like this?
Yeah, that's a part of our team that's playing really well right now. I have what I see is great strain, tremendous buy-in, guys that are, fighting for every patch of grass. And as we began the season, the challenge, in our return game, we can get Sategna going north and south. Man, he can be one of the best in the country and help us win some football games. And that has proven to be the case. And but again, the punting, the kicking, the protection, the coverage units, it's been excellent. And hopefully that'll continue to be that. But it's been a real weapon from a field position standpoint. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, Brent, a word you've used and players have used for this season, mature, a very mature team. In the age of the transfer portal, is it harder to have a mature team? Is it tougher now than it was 10, 15 years ago?
I think, selfless is harder than it's ever been to have a selfless team. And, that's why I have a great appreciation for this team. They've been present. They've been about the team. They've been a group that's been on a mission, and they're very hungry. And so I think that buying into the team and having a selfless mindset is harder than it's ever been because of the opportunity for guys to pack up and leave at any point in time is there, and being distracted by chasing those other opportunities are constantly in front of them. So whether that's maybe they don't have as big of a role or as big of an opportunity, and they're not getting their sacks or their touches. So I can go get money and go somewhere else. The appetite for that is, and the opportunity for that is potentially, there. So to answer your question, I think the answer is yes. Mm-hmm.
Brent, can you talk a little bit about Peyton Bowen and just everything he's been through at Oklahoma? He came in 5-star, obviously, started off really hot, injured, and then, over the last year or so, he's been back and forth with injuries. This year, healthy, and just kind of his growth mentally, physically, his overall leadership.
Yeah, I would say I don't think that being a 5-star. First of all, he didn't ask for that. That's not his label, and so it's not like a scarlet letter. And other than that, again, had a really good freshman year. Been banged up. That's frustrating for any player in the locker room. But I've just appreciated his maturity, his growth through a rough patch. And man, he's developed into a really good leader. His practice habits he never had bad practice habits, but man, he's taken it to another level when it comes to the attention to detail and the focus, passion, and intensity that it requires to play at a high, consistent level. And so again, he's helped be the glue, for us in the back end. This year is playing good football.
Yeah, Brent. Arch Manning, your thoughts on him and how important is it for you to get pressure on him?
Yeah, no, it'll be a big part of the game. Obviously, our guys' ability up front to win and, not allow the clock to be exponentially long. Very talented, tough kid. Loved how he battled and was able to bring his team back last week on the road in Gainesville. It's a very difficult place to play. They were charged up and excited to see Texas. And, man, I just appreciate and respect the courage that I watched him play with as a young player. And hadn't been in that position really much, if at all. And I thought, again, what you saw even on tape at Ohio State, where he got him within a score, having a chance to go win there. Same thing last week. Tremendous arm talent, great athlete, really has a strong pocket presence. When he does scramble, can run through a lot of trash. He's got great speed and quickness as well. A real weapon as a dual threat guy.
Brent, Sark has been a noted play caller for a long time, so the matchup there is interesting. Talk about devising a defense to stop what they do, especially with him calling plays.
Yeah, it's again, at the end of the day, it's about the players. Everything you said is accurate. He's had success at the very highest level for a long time, and they put a lot of pressure and stress on you, both run game, in the deep shot game and in the screen game, all of it. And does a great job in his creativity and in the play design. So, again, this is a game that really challenges you from a fundamental standpoint, a discipline standpoint, and again, a vertical standpoint. They really challenge you. So, but at the end of the day, the schemes and whatnot that both programs run are only as good as the players that are out on the field executing it. So it'll come down to that. It's a player's game.
Yeah, Coach, it's been a couple of days, obviously, since what happened with Keontae Lewis. I wanted to know if you've had a chance to talk to anybody in the powers that be in terms of what could possibly be done to make that safer.
Yeah, I think they're putting some padding. I don't know exactly when or how much and all of that, but I think they're going to put some padding around, that brick area where we're vulnerable.
Just there all the
I
time
don't know.
right now.
I don't know. It's what I was told, and, so.
Yeah, Brent, this is sort of a follow-up to James's question, but it's rare that you get two coaches who are directly calling plays against each other. You said it's about the players, and you talked about Sark's play calling, but how much fun are you having calling the defense again this season?
Yeah, it's always fun. I love coaching, You know, I love strategy. I love game day. I love practice. I love the meeting room. And I always have. So a little bit slightly different role, but been, you know, very involved every step of the way. And but it's fun. And there's, you know, it's fun even when it doesn't go your way. Then you got to figure your way out of it, and that's fun. And a lot of people don't like that, but I do. Our staff does. So the involvement and the intricacies that go along with that. You know, I came out of a staff meeting, you know, with the defensive coaches, and from the moment we got here early this morning, we left out of here around 10:30 last night, got up here early this morning, and you're literally going through play-by-play together collectively. Let's walk through this. Let's challenge each other. What do you think? All of those things, this constant collaboration is one of the funnest parts of what I do. It's like a sanctuary. And I got a really good staff that is, you know, very similar in all their own ways. That so at the end of the day, that engagement. Next thing you know, it's, you know, 10 o'clock at night. It's like, man, where'd the day go? But it goes by, and that's the season. I mean, we're at the halfway point here Saturday night of the regular season, just like that. And so having you know, again, a blast in every way. You know, both with the players and motivating, the correction, the leading, and all the things that go in between, you know, game day and, you know, and the next game day. Mm-hmm.
You mentioned Arch's toughness a minute ago. What stood out for a young quarterback process and some of the duress that he's been under, and how, as you studied him, you've seen him kind of handle that?
It's getting up off the mat, you know, and coming right back and going right back at it with confidence, making plays, decisions. I mean, he's the leader. He's the crown. Got to have to carry, you know, that position has to carry a lot of weight. And he's done it like a champ, in my opinion. He got a small sample size, but that's who he's been. He comes from a lineage, doesn't guarantee anything, but he comes from a lineage that that's who they've been. And so far, that's what I've seen. And the toughness, the courage, the edginess, the response, all of those things are indicative of, you know, what I'm talking about.
Yeah, Brent, a few of the guys on the defensive line have told us that they've nicknamed themselves the Dog Pound, that David Stone came up with that. I was just wondering, what are your thoughts on that moniker, and just what have you thought of how that unit
I think, yeah, I like the engagement. You know, to me that says there's great ownership in that group. If they named them something and then they played like a bunch of you know, pansies, it wouldn't be any good. You know, we'd stop that quickly. And but they haven't. They've showed up. They like to work. They like to compete. They let you coach them hard. And but I like that, for them to create, you know, their own identity. Quit letting me have to label you all the time. You guys decide on what you want to be. It's not always like that. Some guys are just disinterested in that, but these guys, they like it. So I have a great appreciation for, you know, ownership and an identity that they are taking a lot of pride in.
Yeah, Coach. Talking with Coach McKenzie yesterday, you all have a lot of guys on the defensive side that have played in this game multiple times now. How do you think that's going to affect going into this environment and playing in this game against Texas?
Yeah, I think that they can educate the ones that haven't. You know, there's that talk is always very natural, and to me, maybe what you want is, again, just the poise under pressure, the ability to. This is still a game of executing, and you have to use your mind. As much as you do, you can't just be excited to go play, man. It's the effort with the technique and with the timeliness and all the things that go along with executing at a really high level, playing physical, playing fundamentally sound. So you would expect, but there's never a guarantee, you know, that they'll have that poise. But that's what you want from it, to be able to have the poise in a really high-pressured moment, and not to allow the the emotion of game day and all the pageantry to hijack, all the good things that you need to have to execute at a really high level.
What's your thoughts on your offensive line? You got some guys going to play their first game of the transfers, the freshmen, just how they're playing going, because they're probably going to be a big key, I would think.
Yeah, I think the lines of scrimmage on both teams is going to be, really important. And we need to play and continue to we need to play better and get better. That's been a group that's been banged up. It's hard to, the balance of practicing the way you need to practice and also being able to help guys get healthy. So, but we're going to need to play our best 4 quarters of football, this week. You can't play like crap on any side of the ball in the lines of scrimmage and then say, oh, we're going to win the game. They usually don't go together, and not real interested in having a shootout. So we need to be able to protect. We need to be able to run efficiently, and but it'll be a group that's highly motivated to go play well.
Brent, you went indoors yesterday. Was that to keep material hidden? Was that to keep Texas espionage away? What was?
Now it's almost 90 degrees yesterday, and so the strain of a season is real. And up until here recently, we're the only team in the SEC that didn't have an indoor with an AC. So we got AC finally a couple of months ago. So just trying to be smart about, there's only so much tread on the tire, and practicing in 71-degree weather is a little different than 90 degrees. So just trying to be mindful of that.
You talked a little bit about some, we talked about Sark and things, but the personnel, talk about Texas. If you could tell somebody, kind of doing a deep dive on the Texas offense and what you see out of them, what do you think about them as a whole?
Yeah, they've been really good for a long time. They've got, some new players that are playing for them. The skill guys are excellent players. Played, last year. I think Andrees is. I think I said that right. The tight end was the top portal tight end, and a really well-coached, highly recruited offensive line, running backs. They've been banged up at running back. They're getting, some of those guys back now, and again, somebody that has as much talent and all of his best football in front of him in Arch Manning leading the way. So, again, as I've been bragging on, great schemes. Great play calling, play design, again, running, throwing down the field, and all their screen game. They can do it all. And so, again, it'd be a tremendous challenge, for us. All right, appreciate it.